Hey everybody, Ross Cluver here with CCM Magazine at the CCM Cafe, and today we were having the pleasure of having Clay Finnesand from North Point Inside Out sing a couple songs for us. We'll post those on ccmmagazine.com later. Good to have you with us here, Clay.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, and so last night you just had the last show of a tour that you were out with Jordan Feliz.
Yep.
And what was that experience like, going out and playing with him? Was it mostly churches, small
Yeah.
venues? What was
Mostly churches, but we did a couple small venues. But it was great. This is actually, as North Point Inside Out, this was only our second tour. And so to be out with Jordan on our second ever tour was a really awesome experience. And Jordan, his whole team, they're amazing people. So we really had a great time.
Okay, so if you're not familiar with North Point Inside Out, that is stemmed from the youth worship team, right? From Andy Stanley's church in Alpharetta,
Georgia.
And is it just the one campus, or is that like growing into other locations?
Yeah. So North Point has 6 Atlanta area churches, and then a ton of partner churches all around the world. And so it's a pretty crazy, wild thing, but we're all part of our local churches there, and as a part of the band. So.
And you said you have, what, like 10 or 11 people that are regularly part of the
group?
So
a lot of people who are familiar with leading worship at their churches would kind of be able to easily wrap their head around the idea of there's a pool of volunteers, basically, and, at a given time anybody can go. But how it works with our band is similar, where we have about 12 people. On this particular tour with Jordan, we just had 4 of us out.
Right.
But at any point, it's a mix of that 12 people or so.
Does that dictate what songs you can or can't do? Or
sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. Yeah, we're just trying to be flexible with it.
So you've had 2 EPs out in the last year. You've had Abundantly More, which has 5 or 6 songs on it, and then you've got the Wide Open EP, which is just 4 versions of the same song.
Right.
What is in the works? Are there other songs being written now? Is there plans for a more full-length album sometime the next year or two, or what can fans expect?
Right now we are working on, we just did 2 writing camps in the past couple of months, and I imagine we're going to do some more as the year kicks off. We've been working on getting a couple of singles ready for the beginning of the year, and then I think we have some pretty special stuff in the works for middle of the year, but okay. I don't quite know all the details yet, but it might be an album. Yet. I don't know.
All right, so I've heard information that the group is going to be changing the name soon. Can you give us a little bit more detail about that?
Yeah, so we started off as North Point Inside Out. For those who don't know, North Point is just the name of our church. Inside Out is the name of our high school student ministry. And when we started as a group, we were writing songs for our students, and we were all involved a lot with the high school ministry. But as we've continued to be a part of the writing and music worship culture at our church, God has kind of opened up the door for it to not just be with youth, it's for our whole church. And then specifically with Death Was Arrested, that opened it up for not just our church, but a lot of churches across the country and even across the world. And so with that, we, like you mentioned a second ago, how it started kind of as the youth worship team, we feel like God has given us a responsibility now to write songs not just for students, but for our whole church, for any church that needs resources or needs songs. So we're really passionate about local churches, and that's why we just changed our name to North Point Worship. So hopefully it's not too confusing, but pretty soon the Inside Out will be dropped, and it'll just be North Point Worship.
Awesome.